What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come on to the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on uh this controversy going on with Mina Kimes and Coach JB, Jason Brown, right? Now, Mina Kimes was on her show or on ESPN, and she was talking about, I think it was a cover two type play, right? And Jason Brown, Coach JB, went on his show and said that she was wrong and that she didn't know anything, that she didn't know what she was talking about. Right. And so that sparked off a whole lot of controversy and a whole nother conversation. And so I'm thinking, in my opinion, I think if you have people as ESPN, if you have people on there and they're talking about sports and they're trying to show you or teach you about sports, then you got to make sure that those people know what they're talking about. People don't mind listening to people who know what they're talking about. Now, if Mina Kimes made a mistake, when she was talking about, the this play that she was outlining, then that's one thing, right? But then if you make a mistake, you be like, all right, you come back and say, all right, I was incorrect, or either the play can go like this, but I see what the coach is saying. But the coach pointed out that she made it, that she was wrong, she was incorrect. And for her to double down on it and not address the real situation makes it look like, ESPN and Mina Kimes, in my opinion, is just trying to they're trying to push like false information out there. They don't care if she don't know if she don't know what she's talking about, because they know that most people, like myself included, I don't like cover twos and all this other stuff. I don't really know all that stuff. All I know, like if I'm watching football, all I know is, oh, he just made a great play. But I wouldn't be able to identify the different defenses, or like if somebody call a play out, I don't know like who belongs where and in which direction or which hole the running play is going to. Like most people don't know that stuff, right? And if she on TV and she claimed to be knowledgeable about that, and then somebody like Coach JB come on and he points out that she's not knowledgeable, she's incorrect. I think they set themselves up for that. Like people respect, like talk about what you know about. If she didn't know about those kind of those plays or those type of defenses that Coach JB called out, then she all she could do is all she need to do is just talk about what she know and what she understand as far as football. And so now the situation has gotten to a point where they're trying to publicly drag Coach JB about some things that was in his past. And when they do stuff like that, it makes Mina Kimes and ESPN look even more like less credible. Because if you because they're not trying to present the truth. And when they're not trying to present the truth, this is what they do to people who speak out. So Coach JB was on Jason Whitlock's show talking about this situation, and I'm going to play some of that audio from from Coach JB and Jason Whitlock, and then I'm gonna come back and give my some more input.
JB, you and Mina Kimes are going at it, and there have been second and third men enter the ring. She's tapped in a few guys to help her out, or guys have volunteered. They've caped up and are trying to save Mina Kimes from. You pointed out some things about cover four. Anyway, JB, from we're I think we're just midway through the fight. How's the fight going?
I don't know. It's a world, it's all eyes on me. Everyone's against me. I don't have a defense team. I do have some attorneys and stuff, but I don't have like a social media defense team like she does, obviously, in the Mike Golick Juniors, and obviously those are the Dan Levitard followers. They're all in the same little ring there. But it's ironic that like you have half of ESPN that I know and we're cool. And I've gotten text messages from some of her own colleagues. I won't divulge, but it's unbelievable. The laughing is actually at her, not with her. And I don't believe she realizes it. But the facts, Jason, that what you alluded to is how alarming social media is and how fake it is. It's not a real place, because the former NFL players apparently and the people that work at ESPN, to take her side is a mockery, because not one of those guys that played, they know that she's wrong, and then now they've taken this thing so out of context, and then she shows like false allegations against me that were totally like brought up, that were totally fake. Like, it's unbelievable. And that's what apparently I'm being cooked on social media for, because she showed a 6-year-old fake allegation, and it just takes it away from her and the question I asked, Jason. Please get on the board and show me quarters coverage. And she goes immediately to that. That's the problem. That's how you.
And see, I agree, right? If she can't defend her point, that's the whole point of like having a debate talk show. If you have a point and you can't defend that point, and somebody says, you're wrong, or they call you out for it, and then first thing you want to do is bring up their past and try to deflect. It's just obvious to people that you're wrong. And like I said, it's not a good look for ESPN or Mina Kimes to deflect. If she made a mistake, she could say, okay, I didn't, I was incorrect when I said that, you can throw over the top on a corners call, which that's what he pointed out, that like that particular play is designed to prevent you from throwing over the top. And that particular defense is designed for you not to be able to throw over the top. And if you notice, there's nobody coming forward and saying that, that she's right. You can throw over the top on that play. They're just saying they don't want Coach JB to be attacking her publicly or calling her out publicly. That's that's what they're saying. And they're not saying that Coach JB is wrong. So, and I don't usually listen to I don't usually watch ESPN, but at least they should have people on there who know, what they're talking about. Like I said, whatever her knowledge is about football and whatever her understanding is about it, you speak to that level. You don't try to get into things that you don't understand. And even when you do that, you still gonna make mistakes. And so if you make a mistake and somebody call you out on it, all you gotta do is acknowledge. You'll go back and you'll look and say, all right, well, let me see if this guy is right, and this guy, really know what he's talking about. And that could be a learning experience for her, but not just because nobody's right and correct 100% of the time, especially when you're talking about football is so complicated. Like I said, most people don't understand like what is going on. All we know is the quarterback made a good throw, the running back made a good run. We understand like blocks, or like, oh man, look at that offensive lineman. He took out 2 defenders, like he was blocking for his running back. He went downfield and he took out two defenders. We get stuff like that, but the technical part of football is a complicated game. And sometimes even the players, people who play the game, they don't understand the game outside of their position. Like if you're a wide receiver, you probably don't understand like what's going on with linebackers. Or if you're a wide receiver, you probably don't understand what's going on with like with the quarterback. All is your routes. And I heard that they want it to be like that. They want you to be focused just on your job, because they don't want to overload you, number one. And then number two, they want, like if you're a wide receiver, they want you to run your route every time like you're going to get the ball. And sometimes when they call a play, you don't know, like you call a play, they don't know who's going to get the ball. So if you run your route like you're not going to get the ball, and the defenders notice that, then they're going to play off of you, and they're going to play on. They'd be like, oh, okay, when his, because they look for tells. Your posture is different when you come to the line of scrimmage, and the play is on you. Your posture is different than when you come to the line of scrimmage and you say, all right, the ball is going to go to the other side, so I'm not even going to give effort. And they look for that, and they key on that. But football is just so it's like almost like playing poker, like moving poker. It's crazy how complicated football is. But yeah, man, for them to be going at Coach JB, I think it just exposes them. And number one, and then on top of that, it's going to cause more people to call out whatever these people are talking about on these sports channels. So don't just give women jobs just because they women and you need a female in there. Give women who are qualified, women who I'm sure there are women who understand, this. And if Mina Kans is just learning, then she learning. Don't it's not anything to feel bad about.
Won the whole thing. I don't need anyone else's support. It's clear. It was a real simple discussion, Jason. I said, this is what beats quarters coverage. This is the weakness of quarters coverage, because she said, we all know quarters coverage, you just throw it deep. Well, literally quarters coverage is to prevent deep passes. And so that's all that I went on and said, no, you're wrong. And why ESPN allows this to be spewed out there. And for Dan and all these people to sit on the stage, Dan Orlovsky, everybody's sitting there and agreeing is just the joke of it all. And I'm like, come on, man, you guys know better. And so I had NFL guys on my show every week. I have a Super Bowl winning safety, Eric Weddle, Super Bowl champion, Sean King at quarterback. I think they know coverage. I've had Asante Samuel personally reach out to me and say, man, this is actually sad that they think we're laughing with her. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
JB, I think.
And see, that's all right. So, and that's the thing. Like I said, they're messing up. ESPN and Mina Kans, they're losing credibility unless they would have handled this situation the right way instead of trying to bully this guy. What's going to happen is what's happening now. You're going to have football players and other people come forward and say, that's not right. That's not how you beat that coverage. And for them to double down on that, that's why I like social media, because you have so many people out there that have these talk shows, these sports shows now, who know what they're talking about, like ex-athletes. And they know what they're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, then they're gonna call you out. And so when most people, when they talk about sports, they talk about it from the fans' point of view. But I'm not gonna sit over there and draw up quarters coverage when I don't even know what it is. It just don't make any sense. I'm not gonna speak on quarters coverage. I'm not gonna speak on cover two when I don't know. I don't know what cover two. I heard it before, but I don't understand what cover two is, quarters coverage, none of that stuff, man. And then for me to be on here talking about it, I'd be in over my head. And I think that she got in over her head, or even just made a mistake, and all they had to do was say, all right, I was wrong. And it could have been just a learning experience for her instead of them trying to muscle this guy and so that's my take on it. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.